Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy finally does away with Tana leaves and pervy priests and simply lampoons the familiar plot of an ancient princess Ananka and her mummified protector Kharis, now Ara and Klaris, whose sect of followers seek to protect them from a group of treasure hunters, something about a medallion hiding the secret location of an ancient tomb, a dangerous curse, and none of it matters because we're too busy having fun with Abbott and Costello, who also have no idea what's going on either. Then they throw some dynamite at the mummy and he dies. And then they turn the tomb into a nightclub, which is just simply amazing. What a send-off.
Brilliant.
For the mummy.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Before we get going, let me just take a picture of you. Here. Here.
Nice. Is that the same camera you have?
Take this camera. You go and hide and take a picture of anybody that comes in this room.
Smile. No, do your face. Do your face. There you go. Perfect. Click. I got it with my fancy 1950s Polaroid camera. Put this away.
This is the final Abbott and Costello film in the Universal Monster Collection, but also the final Abbott and Costello film Universal ever produced. Their final film came out a year later, released through United Artists, titled Dance With Me, Henry. By this point, they had declined in popularity, mostly due to oversaturation and new talent like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis becoming the next big thing. Essentially, by this point, they were doing like 2 movies a year, and they were had a TV show. There was just a lot going on with them, so people were tired of them, They've been doing the thing for a while. Also, Universal had dropped their contract. There were some contract disputes. They had dropped them. That's why they went with United Artists by this point.
You can't keep the same gag going forever, So it's only a matter of time. Oh my God, it's as if this plugs into what we've been saying this whole series about how you only live for so long and then death is a gift, because if you were to live forever, it would just become boring and tired and the same old shtick of Costello being goofy and Abbott walking in and being like, hey, don't do that. It would get old. It would get old. You would hate being immortal. You would hate it.
I am sure, Charlie, you've been wondering what the French woman said.
What is this all about?
What did the French woman say?
Yes. We're obviously toasting to Abbott and Costello tonight because it's for everything you just said, they are extremely toast-worthy for this being the last movie and being hilarious and all that. But that woman, she gets the honorable mention. She's so good.
How dare you try to make a date with me? I work in a cafe. I do my act. Nobody makes a date with me. I finish my act. So you think you're going to make a date with me, huh? You think I tell you I live at 4254 Rue El Fadl, apartment 2B? You think I'm going to tell you I am not married, I live by myself, and that my phone number is 2341-648? Oh, just because I work in the cafe, I do my act.
It's the funniest bit.
It's so
I do
good.
my acts. How dare you ask me out on a date?
Yeah, how dare you, short, fat guy, ask me out on a date? But if you want to come back to my place, I live here, and this is my phone number, and, So that's the bit, of course, but then she goes into full French.
Oh, je suis une pauvre petite femme qui a besoin de travailler pour gagner son pain.
No, lady, I don't think I can.
Hey, Abbott, what's she saying? Maybe I can.
And Abbott's going, ma'am, I can't. Ma'am, I can't. And so it's like, is she giving him instructions on what exactly he should be doing to her? What is it? What is she saying?
So what the French woman says in French is, but it's important. I hope you don't take me as a fool because I'm a poor little woman who needs to work to earn her bread. But you don't need to be such an ass to be with me.
You don't have to be such an ass to be with me. And he says, but yes. I can't.
Yeah. So she repeats that half because she says this sentence basically twice, but she repeats that second half. Yeah. Again, when Abbott comes into the picture. So
is there some kind of double meaning in French?
This is what I found on Internet Movie Database. So someone has done the translation at some point and was like, that's what she says. And I was like, great.
You don't have to be that stupid to get with me. And he's saying, but I can't. But then Costello says, maybe I can, because he's the stupid one. Maybe. I don't know.
Lou, I'm surprised at you accepting a card from a perfect stranger, a lady, with her address and her telephone number on it. Give me that card till I get rid of it.
So I ended up hiring a French translator to decipher this scene for us because the IMDb translation is the only one on the internet that I could find. And yes, I'm completely serious. According to this translator, the scene is actually pretty straightforward and there's no sexual innuendo. She's just playing an over-the-top French caricature and that's it. It's just meant to be absurd, which is probably why they didn't subtitle her in the first place because frankly, it's funnier not knowing what she's saying. But just because I was dumb enough to spend money on this, here's the full scene with the French translation.
I'll prove with the lady. Lady!
How dare you try to make a date with me? I work in the cafe. I do my act. Nobody makes a date with me. I finish my act. So you think you're going to make a date with me, huh? You think I tell you I live at 4254 Rue El Fadl, apartment 2B? You think I'm going to tell you I am not married, I live by myself, and that my phone number is 2341-648? Oh, just because I work in the cafe, I do my act. Mais c'est important! J'espère que vous ne me prenez pas stupide, parce que je suis une pauvre petite femme qui a besoin de travailler pour gagner son pain. Oh, mais vous n'avez pas besoin d'être si insolente avec moi. And if you dare to follow me home, here's my card.
Hey, wait a minute. What is this all about?
Oh, j'espère que vous ne me prenez pas stupide, monsieur.
Oh, no, lady, I don't think I can.
Non, mais monsieur, j'espère que vous ne me prenez pas stupide.
No, lady, I can't.
Oh, je suis une pauvre petite femme qui a besoin de travailler pour gagner son pain.
No, lady, I don't think I can.
Hey, Abbott, what's she saying? Maybe I can.
The flower girl.
Flowers?
Flowers. How much are those flowers?
$1.
How much are these?
$1.
I got no money.
No money.
Ah.
They're a little wilted. You can have them for nothing.
That's actually Costello's daughter. That's his 16-year-old daughter. You kind of can tell because they don't like make a pass at her or anything. They're just like, oh yeah, I'll take some flowers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that's the scene. That's his daughter. So he was able to get her in the film. So remember yesterday how we talked about Back to the Future Part 3 and that whole Clint Eastwood thing.
Clint Eastwood never wore anything like this.
Marty comes out, Revenge of the Creatures on the poster. Well, this film is also playing at that same drive-in theater in that scene, in that film. If you look closely at the marquee far in the background, this film is also listed as showing at that theater, which makes sense because both these movies were released in 1955, this and Revenge of the Creatures. So
Yeah.
It's obvious that Universal was like, what's our popular movies that we had in 1955?
Break out the monsters.
So returning, of course, we have our comic duo, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, and they really only refer to themselves as Bud and Abbott throughout the entire movie, even though their characters have names.
Not Bud and Abbott, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. They're
Yeah, sorry,
calling each
sorry.
other by the real names.
They only call themselves Bud and Lou or Abbott and Costello. Like, they never
Yeah.
call themselves their actual character names within this movie, which is almost a joke onto itself. So that's kind of fun.
Which the funny thing is that the way it started out was the first movie, Frankenstein, they had character names.
You're Wilbur Gray?
Yes, sir.
Then you must be Chick Young. So what?
They didn't go by their real names
Yeah.
at all. Then in the second movie, Invisible Man, they went by their real first names.
What's your name? Louis Francis?
Bud Alexander?
Abbott and Costello, you never heard, but you heard Lou and Bud. And then now it's just full on their real names.
Abbott.
Costello!
We inched our way towards, f it, they're
Yeah.
just Abbott and Costello.
But they still credit them as, like, different characters.
Bud Abbott is Pete Patterson, and Lou Costello is Freddie Franklin. And you never hear those names. They're just generic adventure guys. They're the bizarro version of the dudes from The Mummy's Hand, you know?
Mummy's Hand. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just were like, yep, we're just going to throw that in there as a little fun gag. They just really didn't care. You know, you brought that camera out. That camera apparently was one of like the early Polaroid cameras. This camera that you have. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't even know if it's the exact same one. It looks almost identical.
No, this is it. And
But
it collapses into...
that is the same one.
It collapses down. Like, I haven't
Right.
done this in a while. But it collapses in,
Yep.
and then this shuts. However, the
So
fuck this shuts.
supposedly,
There we go. See? And then you can put it in your adventure kit.
you put it in your adventure kit, of
Yeah,
course.
like that. And then
But
when you,
of course.
and then when you're ready, you...
So yeah, it
open
says
this.
here the camera Lou Costello uses to take a picture is the Polaroid Model 95A, one of the earliest pictures in a minute cameras pioneered by Edwin Land of the Polaroid Corp. Is that a Polaroid camera? That is a Polaroid camera.
It's actually the 95B.
Oh, so you have the
this is like
B.
having the iPhone 2.
It's like similar to the one that you have. But
Totally,
yes, that
yeah.
is one of the earliest Polaroid picture cameras
Yeah.
that bears a lot of weight on the plot of this movie.
Yes. Here, let's get
Well,
a
that's
picture
fun.
real quick. Here.
Okay.
Here, ready? Selfie. Perfect.
Also returning, we have Kurt Katch, who played Cajun Joe in The Mummy's Curse. I didn't remember him, but also I don't remember much of that movie anyway, because it was on Tana Leaves at the time. But here he plays Dr. Gustav Zoomer.
Dr. Zoomer, have you any statement for the press?
You may say that I have discovered the mummy of Klaris, Prince of Evil.
We also get director Charles Lamont and writer John Grant. They talked about them in the last movie, the last Abbott and Costello movie. They make reference to them in the movie.
I licked Chucky Lamange in the 4th, and I licked Chuck Grant in the 6th.
So that's all I have for my notes on this movie. I really just want to know what's your thoughts on this one.
This movie is a lot of fun. This is by far the best of the Mummy movies because, as we've established time and again in this series, the Mummy movies are cheap pieces of crap that only became something in the 90s, in the late 90s. They repeated the same thing over and over and over, and it wasn't even good to begin with. This movie just says, okay, there's this pre-established lore, there's a princess, there's this mummy protector prince guy, whatever. This gets back to the roots of why Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein was so good. The plot is just background. It's the backdrop to unleash Abbott and Costello in this playground, just having fun, running around in circles, having these goofy bits left and right. All the same, though, that background story makes sense. Again, just like Frankenstein, it roughly makes sense, but it doesn't matter. It's just there to unleash Abbott and Costello, who are right back to being a lot of fun. The last movie was... The point I kept making was it felt like just an Abbott and Costello movie that happens to have some invisible guy in it.
I think he becomes too much of a second protagonist in that film because you do kind of care about that plot. That's the big difference. I think this movie, you have the background plot of you've got some shady characters are trying to fit the gold, which in The Mummy's Hand would have been those characters kind of, but not really. They're kind of the crooked versions of those characters from The Mummy's Hand.
And when we find the treasure, we'll melt down the gold and recut the jewels.
Yeah, it's like we talked about in that episode. The main characters, our finger quotes, good guys from The Mummy's Hand, aren't exactly good guys when they're shamelessly killing the Egyptians to steal their riches.
The jewels of Ananka are safe in the ship's vault.
And then the same thing is happening in this movie, but those same characters are antagonistic towards Bud and Lou, at least at first. But then so is the religious cult that's protecting their heritage.
So you know who I am. Killing me will be of no avail. You cannot escape my followers.
You're right. So we'll hold you as a hostage, then we'll have something to bargain with.
So it all just lends to that idea that things are going on beyond good guys and bad guys, and our comedic duo is just stuck in the middle doing goofy stuff.
Bud and Costello, but Lou and Costello are just, no, what am I saying?
Abbott and Costello. Bud and Lou.
Bud and Lou. They're just in the middle of this. And that's what made the first of those films fun, was that they were just in the middle of it.
Again, two knuckleheads just caught up in something they don't understand. And that they, every time they try to do something, like, you know, again, the whole camera bit was great because it's like, just in case this body disappears again, take some pictures of it. But he takes pictures of him with the body.
You got pictures of me in it,
and then they send him to the cops. They're actively making things worse. All they want to do is get home.
Beloved Klaris, you will soon be returned to your people.
Now, come on, we'll go in here and try and get the job. Let's get back to the States.
They just want to get back to the States, and they saw Dr. Zoomer as their way of getting home. But then by trying to go get in with him, they get caught up in this whole thing where it's like the medallion.
I searched the doctor's clothes. The sacred medallion was not there.
The wrath of Simu will be upon us.
The sacred medallion. The secret of Princess Ara, where is it?
The doctor must have taken it. I searched, but I failed.
May the curse of Klaris be upon the one who has the medallion.
If they didn't bring Klaris out, then he must still be in there, and so's the sacred medallion. We've got to get it before they come back.
What did anybody need the medallion for? Apparently it just had the location of the tomb, but then in the beginning when Zoomer's translating it...
Past the pyramids, near the ruins of an old temple, is a large rock. Search there and...
Past the pyramid, near the ruins of an old temple, is a large rock.
Or later, when Simu
go on the recorder.
is translating it, it's just like just like go past a rock in the desert and look around. Like it's the medallion hardly has a fixed location. It's just None of it matters. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that there's this convoluted plot going on that enables Abbott and Costello to be a lot of fun. So this is another one where, as I said with Frankenstein, where the more times I watch it, the more I appreciate it, because the more you realize it's not about the plot, it's about the fun gags. Yeah. It's a lot more
this
fun.
One's a lot more fun. I think the gags, of course, there's a lot of them. We already mentioned the French woman is one of my favorite bits. I've watched this, had to watch this over and over again.
Lady!
How dare you try to make a date with me? I work in the cafe. I do my act. Nobody makes a date with me. I finish my act. So you think you're going to make a date with me, huh? You think I tell you I live at 4254 Rue El Fadl, apartment 2B? You think I'm going to tell you I am not married, I live by myself, and that my phone number is 2341 648? Oh, just because I work in the cafe, I do my act. Mais c'est important. J'espère que vous ne me prenez pas stupide, parce que je suis une pauvre petite femme qui a besoin de travailler pour gagner son pain. Oh, mais vous n'avez pas besoin d'être si insolente avec moi. And if you dare to follow me home, here's my card.
That's the one bit that I always remember. I do my act. It's just the way she says it, and then
the way
like
she
how
keeps
stupid
going
they are
back
about
to
it.
Like the way she keeps punching,
and we're just like
she just keeps punching with the "I do my act," and it's out of nowhere. Where
Yeah,
it's just so
it's
ridiculous,
funny.
but she's so overwhelming. It's great.
I
Let's
also
talk best
like
bits though. Yeah, let's talk best bits.
Yeah, of course. So early on, it's so subtle. It's very small, but I love.
How stupid can you get? How stupid do you want me to be?
It's the best
Perfect joke.
response to that.
Yeah.
I want to do that
it's so
now.
them.
It's like,
It's
how
so
stupid
them.
are you? How stupid do you want me to be?
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
That's what I was saying about about Frankenstein, where it's like we could go through all the clever dialogue, but I would just end up including the whole movie. And this one's kind of back to that. And I mean, they of course have the obligatory mummy jokes.
I overheard Dr. Zoomer say he needed a couple of men to accompany his mummy back to the States.
Is she afraid to travel by herself?
She? No. His mummy is a he. What's wrong with that? Some mummies are men, some mummies are women.
It's a strange country.
What's strange about it, Lou?
Your mummy, wasn't she a woman?
I never had a mummy.
What'd your father do, win you in a crab game?
What's the matter?
I thought you were going to slap me.
I said, stop that nonsense.
There were some jokes in here, and I'm like, today they would be a little like hesitant to put in here, which is hilarious because I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Some mummies are
that's
men
funny
and
that they're
some mummies are women.
It's like, what? This is a strange country,
Yeah, totally. In that same scene, though, the more times I watched it, the more I loved Costello finding the same dead body over and over again, and just knowing that he's going to freak out.
He gets more scenes where he gets to act scared like he did in the first movie. Doing the research on it, part of the reason they did these movies is because when they put them in other films, they did a really great job of acting scared, or he did specifically. So they were like, yeah, this makes sense. Let's put him with some kind of scary monster so he can react and do these silly bits.
Whereas in The Invisible Man, a lot of that was...
He already knew he was invisible, so it was like we got it one time and then that was it.
But it would be him saying things like,
hey, where am I?
You know, I don't know.
And he'd act scared, but it's like, you wouldn't be... If you were around a mummy, you would be scared until the mummy left. If you were around a Frankenstein's monster, you would be scared until the thing left. Being around an Invisible Man, you would get used to pretty quick, unless he was attacking you.
Tommy, don't get excited. I mean, after all, there's no use you losing your head. Of course, I mean, Oh, Tommy. Not again.
But he, kept acting scared about it. And I understand that it's supposedly this Invisible Man is going to go crazy at any point. He even says at one point,
if he starts acting strangely, call me.
If he starts acting strangely, I won't be able to open up my mouth.
But there's less punch to being constantly afraid of an invisible man next to a monster and a mummy, so it just works better. It just works better in the flavor of everything with this collection being outside of an Invisible Man. And again, it just goes to show, it's like, what do we do with the Invisible Man? I don't know, let's just remake Invisible Man Returns plus boxing. It just ends up being less of a monster movie.
Hey, bud, throw in the towel, will you? Oh, it's too dirty. And besides, you're doing great.
There's gags, but there's less fun being had in that movie, whereas this is, you can't put it any better than two knuckleheads caught up in this plot that they don't understand, that they're actively participating in.
The last movie, it's like we're having fun with it, but they're also being serious with it at the same time because we have this other plot where it's like, we got to make him invisible again. And then it becomes like, okay, well, now this is just one of the other movies, but you have Abbott and Costello in it, like you're saying. This movie, it's like, no, let's just have fun with the material. So we can do whatever.
Let's take this whole stupid plot and just make fun of it because it's been stupid from Kharis and Tana leaves and all that stuff was so dumb. Let's just have fun.
There's
here.
a moment where I thought Tana leaves were going to play a part because there's a part where like we see the mummy and he's like, he's hungry or something like that.
That he needs sustenance.
Or he needs to be revived or needs substance. And I was like, uh-oh, they're going to do Tana leaves.
Fluid.
And then
it's heavily implied. They never say Tana fluid or Tana leaves, but it's implied they're giving some kind of elixir. So we know what that is. Another one of my favorite bits is, this is a gun, and I'm gonna use it.
Yes, that's my favorite. I had that listed too. I'll fill you full of lead.
Be brave. Be tough. Nothing scares me. I can't be tough. I wonder if I could. I'm gonna find out. This is a gun, and I'm gonna use it. Put your hands up, or I'll fill you full of lead. Back up! Back up! Back up! I'm gonna see if I'm really tough now. This is a gun, and I'm gonna use it.
Phone for the patrol.
This is a gun, and I'm gonna use it. Put your hands up, or I'll fill you full of lead. Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up!
He tricked us.
The greatest retelling of that joke ever is, of course, Home Alone.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Cheapskate.
Hey, I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10.
And then how they keep bringing it back. Like how he does it to Abbott and it's, oh, that's funny. But then later he does it to the bad guys. It's the way these jokes just keep compounding on top of each other. That is the fun part. Again, like finding the dead body.
I thought you were dead.
I have much to tell you.
Okay, I'll sit down. Shall I call Abbott?
This is for your ears alone.
I won't call him.
Yesterday, I found Klaris.
Me too.
Today, I think I have the secret of the Princess Ara. I am giving the secret to you in case something happens to me.
I won't tell anybody.
Everyone who has searched for Klaris has died.
Oh.
Now that I have found him, I fear the curse of Klaris.
Is that why you hid in the closet in the bathroom?
Past the pyramids, near the ruins of an old temple, is a large rock. Search there, and...
Another joke that's a continuation. It's also like a continuation to what we had been saying with the last two movies, was that Costello is an idiot savant who secretly has superpowers in these movies and never realizes that he does.
Yeah.
So in the first one, he can use the Dracula hypnotism. The next movie, they go farther where he actually does hypnotize a bunch of people in a room by mistake. He doesn't realize it. This time, however, it is... He can use the flute to summon snakes. Like, they use it as a cartoony gag, but he, like, Abbott gets on the rope and the rope, like, you know, goes up.
Fast. Having problems keeping it up, Q?
I immediately thought of Octopussy, of course.
And then later in the film, the very end of the movie, Bud also uses the flute, and then there's a very hot snake lady who is, like, one of the showgirls at the club that shows up, and then Costello's like, oh, I could do that too, and then he starts doing it, but of course it's another snake. One of my other favorite ones was more of a callback to their first bit that made them famous, was the pick is your pick, which is basically a callback to Who's on First because they're getting mixed up with the words.
Give me one of those implements.
Here, take your pick. There. Wait a minute, hold it. That's a shovel. Here's the pick over here.
Well, I picked the shovel. The shovel is my pick.
Oh, no, this is a pick. This is a shovel.
That's what I picked is the shovel.
How can a shovel be the pick?
Look, if I'd have wanted to pick, I'd have picked the pick. But instead, I picked the shovel because the shovel is my pick.
Oh, in other words, you don't want to pick the pick because the pick is a pick and the shovel isn't a pick. If you pick the pick, the shovel isn't a pick.
Now you've got it.
Now I got it. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
You still don't understand, do you?
No.
Here, look. Here, now you take your pick. There you are. Now the pick is your pick.
Let's try it again now.
Now what?
Now, come on, you take your pick. You took the shovel! Here's the pick over here!
The room full of pickpockets. Like every single thing is secretly a guy. The last little one isn't really a bit, but it's more just it reveals the flavor of movie we're watching, which is that the mummy outfits are clearly just a onesie suit that you step into, and it's like it's supposed to be bandages, but it's so loose. It's not even tight fitting.
Yeah.
It's just like whatever. These mummy movies suck. We're gonna have fun.
Because all the other ones, you could tell that they put a little bit more love and care because they're supposed to be actual horror films, and like you know they wrapped them up. Especially the first one with Boris Karloff. That one looked incredible, but it's expensive and it takes a lot of time. And it's like, well, we want to do funny gags. We don't have time to do that. So the only makeup we really get is around our mummy's face, really. And then outside of that, it's like, okay, here's the mummy suit, throw this on, zipper it up. And then we get a callback to it at the very end.
Wait a minute. This is the opening night of the Cafe Kharis, and everybody's dressed but you.
I'll be dressed in a minute.
Brings out the tuxedo, gets in it, and then he zips it up. But if you know the joke, you're like, oh, that's because all the mummy outfits were the same. They were zippered up.
Was that tuxedo constructed just for that bit, for Costello to be goofy?
Yeah.
Or does the wardrobe department have a bunch of zip-up tuxedos that look good on camera that you can put on quickly and efficiently for film production?
Yeah, like using them in the background so they don't have to give everybody tuxedos or something like that.
Yeah, so it's like the same that same concept then applies to the mummy costuming, which it's just because they're just like, whatever, we're here to have fun. And to further illustrate that point, the movie opens with this fantastic vaudeville-esque performance on a stage with these 4 performers just vaulting around each other, and then ends with this big wine explosion. It's fantastic. And again, that immediately brings to mind that Abbott and Costello came up in through vaudeville, you know, so that could easily have been a bunch of their friends that they brought on for this. But the point being that it's a fantastic performance to get things going versus something like The Mummy's Curse, where it starts with this awful song.
I go for you. Hey, you!
So look at the difference. Just a little bit of effort. You get more of a splash at the outset. The Mummy's Curse could have easily have had that same performance, but it's just lazy. The Mummy movies up until this point have been lazy. My ultimate point being that it's not difficult to put this one above all of them because they've all been so lazy and disappointing and just cheap cash grabs and all the same, like reusing footage left and right and same plot every time. We didn't put A&C Meet Frankenstein above Dracula because it's just like, it's Dracula. It's this timeless classic. You can't say that about any of these damn mummy movies. You could maybe say that the Boris Karloff one has a certain amount of class to it because of him, but it's still out-mummied by the mummy's hand. But then enter this movie that just says, this was all stupid from the get-go. We're gonna this is still more of a mummy movie than The Mummy.
I will lead the infidels to the worship room. When the celebration of Klaris is ended, their lives will end with it.
And so will the threat to the treasure of Princess Ara.
Significantly. We're in the desert. There's the curse. There's the princess. There's the mummy.
It is much closer to the mummy's hand. I think to your point earlier, though, about the Frankenstein meets Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, it is that the movie works because it has the Wolfman, it has Dracula, it has the good Frankenstein movies to go off of.
But we still didn't put it above those. We still put it below those.
And that's why, because we're like, well, you need these movies to make it work. But this movie, it's kind of an exception because those movies, like you said, they just drop the ball in the premise. Outside of maybe The Mummy's Hand or the first Mummy that actually like does something with the material, like interesting. Even The Mummy that we complained about being dry, it's still like, there's a lot of other lists out here that would probably put The Mummy much higher. We were just like, this movie's hard to watch. In comparison to a lot of these, it's like, it's not that good.
It's a lot of gobbledygook.
The Mummy's Hand is exactly what I think most people would expect out of one of these movies. This is more in line with that particular movie because you're like, we're in Egypt, We have American adventurers trying to get a treasure, but it's plagued with a mummy curse. All that stuff works here, but it's having fun with the material and elevates it. That's what makes it fun and, and again, enjoyable. So.
A&C Meet Frankenstein. I get what you mean by that movie works because Dracula works and Wolfman works, but not in my book. In my book, all that matters is what happens from play to credits. You don't need to do the homework of watching Dracula or watching the Wolfman or watching Frankenstein. You don't need to watch those movies to enjoy A&C Meet Frankenstein.
That's when we're forgetting. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing the monster. Like we have to remember like, oh wait. We're not here to judge like the comedics of this movie as much as we are like, oh wait, this is a monster movie. Now I'm saying that for the top of the list because this is where we're here for. But there is this movie that is a lot of fun and a lot of entertainment.
On that note, there's a big part of me that wants to put that still is like, should A&C Meet Frankenstein be above Phantom of the Opera? But that's just through raw entertainment, just raw entertainment.
There's no meaning to the movie. There's nothing.
Yes.
There's not, and that's what really also brings it down. It's like the movies are fun. There's just not a lot of meaning there. There's like the other argument would people be like, well, just because it's a comedy, I'm like, yes, but the comedy doesn't have it's a slapstick comedy that doesn't have internal meaning or like
it's timeless in its cleverness.
Yeah,
it is timeless through cleverness, but it's not timeless through meaning. The top 10 largely has meaning that can help you in your life. As we've been over a million times, there's raw entertainment, there's meaning, and then there's meaning and entertainment. And that's where you get the best. That's where you get GoldenEye or whatever. So that whole old argument with the first movie, throw that aside. This one's raw entertainment is well above and beyond anything coming out of the Mummy series up until now, including the original Mummy, which, some film historians would be like, oh, wow, just Boris is amazing. And it's so black and white. The blacks are so black and the whites are so white. It's so, okay, yeah, go try watching that movie and get something out of it for me. Tell me what that movie means. Oh, it's just a bunch of gobbledygook with a bad ending and something about reincarnation and blah, 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 blah. The movie is dry, McCurdy. So go again. Give me your best dry pun. How dry is it?
How dry do you want it? How dry do you want me to be?
How dry do you want me to be?
How dry do you want me to be? That's the Mummy. So anyway, yeah, you've made your point. I get what you are throwing down.
Okay.
So obviously, this movie is above The Mummy's Hand because The Mummy's Hand is unintentionally entertaining and fun. I mean, it is entertaining and fun intentionally, but it's also unintentionally hilarious.
He's after Tana food.
It's still a movie that I will, to this day, if I ever get asked the question, I will say, yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And people will be like, what? The Mummy's Hand? I've never heard of it.
You have to
see
it.
You should do yourself a favor. And then they'll watch it and be like, he's crazy. And I'm like,
that
exactly.
Hipster asshole.
Yeah. He trolled me. I'm like, great. I'm glad you watched The Mummy's Hand because it's stupid, but it's awesome. But we've already said that this movie is a much better Abbott and Costello movie.
Hey, where you been? Hey, I was thinking about it. Get rid of it. No. What is it? Dynamite.
I definitely agree with you. It is better than Abbott and Costello meets the Invisible Man. Now the question becomes...
There's a base.
How high do we go with this movie? Because this is the second to last movie. I don't know if I'd go any higher than that, but the only thing I'd go higher than is maybe The Invisible Woman.
Because it's a comedy. Because at that point, it's like the comedy here works a lot better than the comedy there.
At the same time, it's like Frankenstein meets the Wolfman is still on base with what these movies are. It's still a monster film. They do a pretty good job of introducing both characters and having some conflict there. The ending kind of sucks with that movie, but a lot of the endings of these movies aren't the best.
Yeah.
I would even make that kind of argument with Bride of Frankenstein, where you have an ending that's kind of like very quickly tied up, but still in line with their themes. So that's where I'm like, I think somewhere between that, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on where you would place this?
I'm absolutely above The Invisible Woman. From there, it's like we have all our movies that are transitioning to being more serious and meaningful. And then, at number 9, we have an Abbott and Costello movie. So it's certainly between the two Abbott and Costello movies. It just depends on how far we want to push it, because this one really is... It's like they were listening to us critiquing the previous Mummy movies. Like, at one point, the femme fatale, who, by the way, her name is...
I shall be happy to lend my humble assistance, Madame...
Run True.
Her name is Run True. Speaking of things that mean something different today. I don't know if it was a phrase back then to say that a woman has been run through. You know what that means, McCurdy? Means she's eaten a lot of grapes in her life. And so her name is, the femme fatale's name is Run Through, which is, but anyway, when she says at one point,
if anything should happen to him, it will be blamed on the curse of Kharis.
Which is something that we said at one point. We're like, switch it up a little bit. Maybe one of these movies could be somebody using the curse to manipulate people, and then it turns out not to be real. That type of thing.
Devil's on the loose and he's dancing with the mummy.
At the very end, it's like we still get the mummy priest that we had even for the first movie.
Followers of Klaris, my search is ended. I have brought back the one who has the sacred medallion.
But this time it's like he's not played as this guy wearing a fez, and then like at the end of the movie he gets the hot girl. We never get that. We never get that in this movie.
Staring
like,
off at the ceiling.
I'm so glad.
With big flowery language.
And 9 leaves each night to give life and movement.
Where he's just so pious.
I'm so glad we don't get that in this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great, we don't get that. We just get basically the essentials of what the mummy's hand was. It's like, oh, we need to get the mummy back because it's our religion. That's all you need.
And then once they find the princess in the end, they're just like, what do we do now?
The secret of Princess Ara has been revealed, and Klaris is destroyed. All that remains now for my people is the legend.
Why not let the whole world know of the legend? I have a way of keeping the memory of Klaris alive forever.
How can you do that?
Let's turn this place
Make
into
it a
nightclub.
Instead of taking the treasure, let's share this with everybody, because then you can make more money that way. Because then everyone's going to come to be like, let's come to the Kharis's Cafe. Klaris's Cafe is what it is.
It's the ultimate you to the mummy. To turn the tomb into a nightclub is just, it's too perfect. It's just like putting a cap. For me, it's like the ultimate closure on this whole Mummy franchise. It's been nothing but a disappointment. I know how we can honor it forever. Turn it into a nightclub.
Oh, yeah. Like, if we ever go to the Dark Universe, like, I would hope that somebody... they call it Kharis's Cafe, just in line with more of the Mummy films. But, it'd be nice. Yes, Klaris in this film. I'm saying if they did it at Universal, they would call it Kharis because it would be like, that would be the actual name of all the Mummy movies. But then... Yeah. Here, it would be fun to even say, like, yeah, it's Klaris's Cafe because it's in line with the mummy's name in this.
If I ever open up a restaurant, the men's room will just say Ferran's only.
Ferran.
And the women's room will say Moran's only.
But it would be fun to do that at the Universal, the new Epic Universe thing, and like have a little corner, and they'd be like, yeah, this is Kharis's Cafe or Cafe
and you get
Kharis.
Tana fluid. Like you drink Tana fluid, and it's full of caffeine and
it's just a Celsius that they pour in a cup. That's all it is.
And there's snake charmers and
speaking of which,
good old time. Yeah, get that Tana fluid.
We should
in.
put
I already had one.
We should put that. That would be really funny. As if you put on the affiliate links, we put
an affiliate link for Celsius. Tana fluid.
And then, but instead of titling it Celsius, just call it Tana fluid. And
okay,
people
here.
would be like, what's Tana fluid? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, Charlie?
The real life Tana fluid. Mine is Playa Vibe.
Mine is Retro Vibe.
Click the YouTube shopping link to get Tana fluid today. Yeah, just Celsius. Just rebrand to Tana. Just rebrand. Everybody knows what Tana fluid is.
Tana fluid, baby.
Yeah, and then of course on the bottle it says like brewed with 9 Tana leaves. You don't even know what that means.
Yes,
it's fantastic. In this vial, I have the fluid from 9 Tana leaves. 9 Tana leaves, Dr. Petrie. That wouldn't mean anything to you. 9 Tana leaves, 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 9 Tana leaves.
Yes.
Dude, we're geniuses. We are.
Universal just needs to hire us. They should hire us because we watched all the movies, so we know all the gags, and we can put that and be like, okay, no.
Yeah.
I already don't like
we
the
found
way
the
that
only
they've
2
made
men
Igor.
on the planet who have watched all these movies. Where are they? They're somewhere in the U.S. Find them. They will save this franchise. And then they task us with writing the new Dark Universe. And
I would not start with the Mummy.
This is too good.
Don't start with the Mummy.
We would write it too well. They'd be like, this is too good. This is too good. We need to dumb this down.
Start with Frankenstein's monster, at least. Don't start with the Mummy.
Start it right. Okay, so if we're between the two Abbott and Costello movies, this one is obviously not going to surpass Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. It's just that one has too much going for it. Again, we have showcased thoroughly that Frankenstein movies are towards the top, Mummy movies are towards the bottom, Invisible Man movies are around the middle. This is the only Mummy movie that is just like, nope, totally surpassing all the Invisibles, minus the original. Maybe Agent. Where are you at with this versus Agent?
I would put. I think it's not so much Agent, but it is. I would put this right below Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. I think it's above Invisible Woman because again, they are in a relation to each other. They're both comedies. Then like once I get to Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, I'm like, we're into the territory of these are monster movies. There is monster stuff going on in this movie, don't get me wrong, because we do get fun run around with the mummy.
Which one of you, Charlie, step forward, raise your hand.
Throw those bullets as they're coming out of the gun. But that's when I'm like, let's start to become a little more serious. Let's take this seriously. The only reason I would keep Abbott Costello in the very top of these is just because we get all of our classic monsters. We get Bela Lugosi coming back. Of course, we get Lon Chaney coming back. And they're having fun with the at least top 3 monsters, the top 3 most popular ones. That's why I would keep that up there. But like for me, I'm like, the highest I think this goes is above Invisible Woman.
That might be the ideal spot. The only other kinks in that line of thinking is that magical word completeness, where the ending here is right on point. Just blow up the mummy, open a nightclub. It is on point. And then Abbott finally gets the girl and Costello doesn't. All these movies has been women fawning over Costello, whether
and Bud's just
real
like,
or
why?
not. And
this guy.
Frankly, I don't get it.
And frankly, you never will.
And he gets like the prettiest
girl
thing
in this movie. Yeah, I would agree. Again, I'm like, that's when I go to Frankenstein. I mean, we're literally it's the halfway point of this list once you put it in there. It's like literally at the halfway point. That's where I'm like, I feel like these movies need to start being a little more what we expect from the monster movies, because I would not want to undercut Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, even though yeah, there's like that.
And then they fight.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see, bro. That's all I want to see in that movie.
All they had to do was motivate the fight. That's all it needed.
That movie does a really great job of setting up all the pieces, though. And I think that's one thing I really appreciate about that movie is definitely the first half of it is fairly well done. And even though like the ending is a little silly and it's like not as well set up, it's like, I don't really give a shit. Like the monster gets to fight. Like, that's what I came here for. I'm like, oh, this is the comic book thing that I wanted to see is them fighting. That's what I wanted. You know, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Where this movie, it's like, I still enjoy it, but it's also, it's a farce.
We constantly struggle with the comedies creeping into every list. And it's like, this is enjoyable. This is great.
This is good.
What are we here for? And that's where even A&C Meet Frankenstein still brings more of a monster element by bringing all of our greats in, where this
does a great job with it too.
I am happy as long as this beats out all the other mummies. It doesn't need to go super high for me to be happy.
No.
It just needs to surpass The Mummy's Hand at number 20, and justice is served.
And at least it also gives another thing where I think the last Abbott Costello, we were like, not as good as Invisible Woman. Like, I think the comedy Invisible Woman is better than Invisible Man. Or when they meet Invisible Man. This movie, it's like, no, it just shows that Bud and Abbott and Costello can do good comedy. And it is better than Invisible Woman. I think the jokes here just land back. I mean, again, the jokes here are much more in line with why we loved Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That's where I'm like, yeah, I think this is better than Invisible Woman.
I have no doubt it's above Invisible Woman on comedy alone. The cleverness going into the constructing of these jokes, even down to something as simple as the trick thing in the door that when you sit on it, you fall backwards into the tomb.
They even bring back jokes, because I didn't mention this. There's another gag that they brought back from Frankenstein where they're like, okay, let's like barricade the door, but the door swings the other way. But this time they added a little bit more to it where they're like trying to push up against the door. Yeah. And then you see them like, yeah, we did it. And then they realize, oh,
keep pushing. Oh, boy.
I love that. They add a little bit more to it, so it still works.
So I have no doubt that it's it beats out that previous comedy. Where I do start to agree with you is looking at those next movies, as much as I enjoy this movie, and the next ones aren't exactly perfect. Like, again, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman doesn't have the best ending. Invisible Agent has kind of a rough plot.
Doesn't do as much with the premise as we wanted it to.
Exactly. So we just start to get into the territory of these movies are good and have, like, Revenge of the Creature, is on point with its themes, Dracula's Daughter. It's hard to put the goofball running around being chased by guys in fezzes above movies that are actually trying to make good on their themes and bring that monster element. So does this go above anything with an incomplete plot, because Invisible Agent is fine.
Invisible Agent still lands. I think the things we forget is Invisible Agent has some really great performances. And I think with Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, there is the problem of some of the plot was taken out of the movie because cigar smoking guy was like, I don't like Bela Lugosi saying the lines, even though it was made the movie even more complete. But that being said, I think overall the way in which they are able to tie two universes that have never been tied together before that movie, they do a really great job of introducing the Wolfman as kind of the main protagonist, and then we have the Frankenstein monster stuff, and they're trying to use those things to kind of cure each other. It's the most comic book things. It's the most comic book stuff that you have there, where I'm like, yeah, that's what we want to see, kids.
When I look at this chunk, when I look at Frankenstein, Wolfman, Invisible Agent, Revenge of the Creature, Dracula's Daughter, I think all of them have really weak endings, and it kind of makes them incomplete. But I don't know if that incompleteness justifies putting this movie above it. That's my struggle, where the ending of this one is fantastic, but it's a big goof on the franchise. It's a middle finger to the Mummy franchise in a good way to turn the tomb into a nightclub, which tempts me to put it above those other ones. But those other ones all have something to bring in the monster department, and that other than maybe Invisible
Agent. That's what
Agent,
it is. That's where I'm like,
that's what trips me up.
That's my solace there, is at the end of the day, we have to remember, if we did all these movies just purely on entertainment value, this list would be very different. Because a lot of the movies that I think put higher on the list might have been lower. There's movies that I'm like, I actually thought this movie was way more entertaining than this movie. The Mummy's Hand would have been much higher if we were we're just basing this around entertainment value alone. And I don't think we never do that, because we were entertainment value. We got entertainment value, production value, performances are always, performances can always swayed something. Good, decent plots, good writing can swayed something, but also we put a lot of heavy emphasis on meaning and themes as being meaning and entertainment and making it coherent. So I think we have a lot of things here, but I think also on this list particularly, it was what is more core to what this thing is. And even when we did James Bond, it's what was the most James Bond movie was either Casino Royale or GoldenEye. And those movies are both very James Bond-esque. They're very centric on what the character is, that they do a really great job of throwing that out and being this is what this is. This is what this character is. GoldenEye was also very entertaining at the same time. So with meaning, everything is there, Everything you want out of James Bond movies there, even for a modern audience. Same stuff that you would have gotten in the original 2-3 movies.
With Frankenstein, there was no doubt about it, just because it was overwhelming. The cleverness in the dialogue and the jokes and how that plugged in with all the different monsters, it rocketed it higher. Here, though, it's just, again, this is a Mummy movie. The amount of Mummy movies at the bottom of the list embarrasses me. This one being right above Invisible Woman is
they're buried.
They're buried down deep in the dry sand.
In the sand.
For all eternity. So I can't argue it any further, because all those movies have something to say, something they're getting at. So as fun as this is, now I'm just repeating myself, but it's the highest of the Mummy movies. That's all I need for Mummy justice. Is there any argument for putting it above Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman? Or is it pretty safe to just put it right below?
I think it's very safe at number 16.
Yeah, end of the day, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. It's that same argument of why the Wolfman is where it is and Creature is below it. It's just it's what you want. You want to be in these creepy European locations in the foggy graveyard.
Also, remember the Wolfman, even though they changed the last Wolfman, they gave the Wolfman a new problem, a new complex where he's I gotta die. I don't want to be alive anymore.
I don't want to live eternally. Why did you say that to me? Get away from me!
They added that to the character by bringing him back. You're you can't die. And he's like, but I need to die. Like, I have this death wish. I am now suffering because of this thing.
You're insane at times, and you know it. You're sane enough now, though, to know what you're doing. Why don't you let me take care of you?
Do you think it would do any good to put me in a lunatic asylum?
You know that's where you belong. It's the only thing to do.
No, that wouldn't do any good. I'd only escape again sooner or later.
But we might be able to cure you. Might prevent you.
I only want to die.
So they added that element, which I think like gives the movie a little more gravitas.
It is such an interesting premise. I have to ignore the idea that the ending sucks because that's the problem with a lot of these movies. And then this movie can come in and not have a sucky ending because they can do something outrageous. So I think putting it like right in the middle of the list is giving it high honor so far as these damn mummy movies go, but not high enough to defeat these staples. So I'm going to lock it in at number 16. Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy. Above the Invisible Woman, below Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, that important threshold of quality in horror. And McCurds, we only have one possible duo to be toasting to. These guys, they made almost 30 movies. Boom, affiliate link in the description to buy that collection. That would be a difficult rank because it'd be like, which one's funnier? You would need like a laugh-o-meter next to you the whole time you're, my laugh-o-meter said 7.8 on this movie. All right, let's toast to our duo that I have fallen in love with over this process.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I think not that long after these movies, they kind of had faded out to obscurity and also just had broken up. I mean, they were having infights all the time. I just love the fact that these guys were playing cards anytime they weren't on set, and they would have trouble getting on set for most of these movies because they were like,
don't you see though? Don't you see how like when they slap each other in the face,
they mean it.
They mean it.
They mean it.
It's funnier for us.
Wise guy, eh?
For them, it was exercising their interpersonal demons.
Hey, chick, I don't like you like that. Come on, chick, be just like you used to be.
Go away with it.
Atta boy, I'm happy. That's just like you used to be.
All right, now stop this nonsense.
I hate
like if I could, sometimes I want to slap you, but I can't.
I want to, I want to slap you all the time.
I can't
I have so much rage.
Yeah.
So much rage.
Go ahead, motherfucker. Go ahead. They had a love-hate relationship. You can't be that close and not have a love-hate relationship. That fine line. It's not all hate. It's not all love. It's emotionality. Love and hate are not polar opposites. It's love and hate over here and indifference over here. That's the opposite, is no emotion. So, if these guys hated each other, they also loved each other. They made almost 30 movies together. We've made over 30 episodes this year, and I fucking hate your guts, but I love you.
Anyway, I have to pee. The Tana fluid is making me want to pee really bad.
Anything else on Abbott and Costello?
I think they are a great addition to the series. It's a little spice, just a little flavor, even though you go into these movies like they're serious horror monster movies, and then you get through halfway through the list, like, these are stupid. Then these guys come along and they're like, oh, wait, these are fun because of how stupid they are at times.
It's absolutely unexpected, but it's a great time, So, and again, for me, this saves The Mummy. Like, this movie saves the Mummy franchise such as it is back then.
You can even see the threads of plot stuff that you could see in your favorite Mummy movie, in this movie.
They took the best stuff, put it in this movie.
No! It is evil! It's a curse! Take it away! Take it away! Protect me! Protect me from the curse of Kharis!
It's a curse. It's the curse. It's a curse. Beware of the curse! Beware!
We've been saying that from the get-go. You can watch the Brendan Fraser Mummy, and then you can watch these, and you can see the seeds. This is where they just go, Tana fluid sucks. We need the sect of people protecting the ancient secret.
The curse.
The treasure hunters.
Yeah, exactly. You get all of that here.
Yeah, you get everything but the nightclub. But then later, in the third movie, they take their treasure. Remember what they do with it? They open a nightclub.
Here's to you, princess. And Imhotep. May the bugger actually stay dead. Ding dong.
The brother opens up a nightclub.
That makes so much sense now.
So we owe that to Abbott and Costello, to A&C, dude.
There we go.
To A&C.
To A&C, baby.
Thank you for 3 unexpected films. Happy Halloween.
Tana fluid. Almost there.
Yay. Stay on target.
Almost there.
Stand by your nuns.
Or he'll become a murderous robot.
He will never eat. He will never sleep. He will never stop.